Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 104 of the J Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on March 8th, 2022. How you folks doing? Man, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you are stockpiling fuel. Now, remember that Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they were stockpiling gasoline and oil barrels? I love that show so much. Because of the implication. No, that was funny, but don't do that. No, really, that's not advice. Please don't stockpile gasoline and oil barrels. It's probably not a good idea. It's probably not safe either. You know, you could, and I'm certainly not telling you to forgo supply storage and preparation. No, but just don't do it like that. I'm gonna lose my mind. This is just, the world is going, it's going crazy. And I thank you for listening to the podcast. I hope this gives you a little bit of levity in times like this. We have a lot to cover today, so gosh, I think we're gonna talk about a couple of silencers. I'm gonna talk to you about some Form 1 stuff too. So let's get right into it now, shall we? The J Situation Podcast is proudly sponsored by Silencer Shop. That's right, the most efficient and intelligent way to purchase silencers in general, probably. This eForm 4 thing, it's given a lot of folks problems, but we're going to see how it shakes out. You know, Silencer Shop seems to be doing an okay job so far. It is getting a little bit crazy. Most of all, or all in all rather, Silencer Shop is fairly accurate, really low error rate overall. Really, the ATF is usually the bottleneck in all of this. It's the best case scenario we can hope for. There's a reason Silencer Shop has grown. They continue to innovate, come up with easier ways for the masses to purchase silencers. That's really the name of the game. You can use the kiosk, organize your fingerprints and photos electronically. It's all encrypted in the system, kind of store it there, so when you want to buy a silencer, you can do so quickly. Without having to go and get fingerprinted again and all that good stuff like that. They do have a money-back guarantee. It's great. There are no transfer fees, no paperwork errors. It's just you and your silencer with no drama. It truly is silencer ownership simplified. That's what it is. And thank you to them for supporting the podcast. That's right. And secondly, the J Situation Podcast is supported by True Shot Gun Club out of Arizona. You can click the link in the show notes there on the podcast show notes in every episode. You click that link, and then if you buy ammo from them, Pew Science gets helped out, and you get some ammo. It's pretty good. And if you are so inclined, there is a coupon code. You can use the coupon code Pew Science, and what that does is it gives you $20 off their frequent buyer program, where you join. I think it's $100 a month to join. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's really crazy. I think it's $100 a year, $100 a year to join. And if you use the code word Pew Science, you get $20 off of that. Okay. So it ends up being like $80 a year. And with that, you get free shipping on all the ammo you buy during the whole year. So it's like Amazon Prime, but for ammo. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can do that there with the code word, or, you don't have to at all. Just offering it to you there. They approached Pew Science and said, hey, what do you think? I said, let me think about it. I thought about it, and it looks like some of you have been doing it. I actually looked in the system there, and it looks like some of you have been, using the link, buying ammo, and I have not heard anything negative about it, so it seems like it works. So please continue to buy from them. They did send me an email recently. I don't know. I'm not an AK guy, so I really don't buy the steel case 7.62x39 much, but they did recently email me and tell me they got a pretty big shipment of 7.62x39 steel case stuff. I know that with the whole Russia stuff, the supplies are getting weird. So True Shot told me that they are actually looking at different brands just to keep the supply coming. So, go ahead and hit that link in the podcast show notes and see if you're an AK guy, hey, maybe you want to buy some steel case ammo. Now would be as good as time as any, I think. Yeah. If you use that link, you win, they win, you help the podcast. Okay. And lastly, the J Situation Podcast is sponsored by Pew Science, pushing the silencer industry forward, dragging them kicking and screaming clawing their way through the doorway, pulling them past the threshold, one test at a time, cheerfully, and honestly, every week. Visit pewscience.com for the suppression rating, the simplest and most accurate hearing-safe ratings for your suppressed small arms. That's right, based on true human sound perception of the entire gunshot, from before combustion takes place, all the way until all the combustion is gone. That's right, suppression rating is in Section 5 of the Silencer Sound Standard. It's going to walk you through gunshot noise, sort of like Wikipedia, but it's more fun because it's about silencer sound. Why are you listening to this podcast? Well, I like to think it's because you find it entertaining, but also you like silencers. So read about them, learn about them, become them. Become one with a silencer. There are 7 parts to the Silencer Sound Standard. They're all on pewscience.com for you to read. If you haven't seen it, that's okay. Skip directly to the suppression rating in Section 5. It's the very important part there. It's going to let you know how silencers stack up in comparison to one another with regard to sound at the muzzle and at the shooter's ear. It's going to give you a hearing-safe dose limit for the particular platforms on which the silencers are tested. Guys, it's directly tied to inner ear response. Okay? If the rating is higher, it's going to sound better. Or it's going to be less damaging to your ear. If it's lower, it's going to sound more harsh. It's going to sound louder. It's probably going to hurt your ear more. It's hearing damage risk is what the scale gives you, okay? It's literally that. So yeah, you're not going to find this information anywhere else in the world, I promise. Like literally nowhere. And I had to create it because we didn't have it. Now we have it. Now you can use it, okay? You go to Section 6. It has all the reviews, and I realize they are very detailed, and they might be too much for you, and that's okay. Go to Section 7, and we'll probably be using Section 7 during the podcast here, and one of the topics, I might reference it. Section 7 is the rankings section at pewscience.com, pewscience.com/rankings. That's going to let you know how all the silencers stack up. You can sort it, bip it, bop it, cut it, filter it, do whatever you want. And you can look at the data in ways that may help you make purchasing decisions or maybe just expose you to the performance on different platforms in general. And when you find something you like, there are links to each review in each of the rows of the table. So if you find something you like, you click on the review, you go hog wild, get a beer, and peruse the information, as it were. Yeah, that's right. And if you are a manufacturer, and you would like to use PewScience for private testing and consulting services, there's a form on the website with which you can submit that inquiry. Your contact information and all test data we generate as part of any effort with you will be held in strict confidence unless you want to release it to the world. And guess what? Sometimes that happens, and we're going to talk about some of those cases today on today's episodes. That's right. It's living and breathing. It's coming to you right now. You can support this podcast, PewScience, and all the testing that I do for you by joining with a membership at pewscience.com if you like. And if you don't want to, or even if you are a member and you want to give more, there's a donate button. That's right. It's on the review page. It's on the podcast page. Every little bit helps. You can give a lot of it. You can give a little bit. You can give nothing at all. That's right. And something that's free, and actually something that's really cool, whatever your podcast provider is, if you rate the podcast, that would be really great. You can give a rating on Spotify now, which is really neat. That will help the podcast. You can give a rating on iTunes. That'll help. And really, when I say that, really what we're doing is we're trying to spread the word. We are trying to normalize the use of suppressed small arms. I know a lot of folks have all these arguments about, well, we need to keep the NFA because that'll protect silencers. And, I make silencers and I think that they should be regulated because I could sell more or I could charge them more money. And no. This is PewScience, and what I'm telling you right now, we want silencers to be common use. That's my stance. I'm hardline. I want everyone to have one. I want everyone to have a gun, and I want a silencer to be on all the guns. And I think that that's prudent, and I think it's important. So please support our quest to normalize the use of suppressed small arms by rating the podcast. That's right. Okay. So not the shortest, not the longest. Now, 4 topics for you today. We've got a lot to cover. Topic 1, more ATF eForm 1 tomfoolery. That's right. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? It's the nature of regulation. Now, last time on the episode we speculated, were we right? Were we correct in our speculation? Absolutely, we're 100% correct. So let's talk about that. Okay. Topic 2, sound signature review. Today. Sound signature review 6.67, the diligent defense company Enticer LTI On Supersonic 308, technical discussion. Well, this came out of nowhere. We'll talk about that. Topic 3, Sound Signature Review 6.68. The Diligent Defense Company Enticer S TI, the shorter version of the L. On Supersonic 308 again, also came out of nowhere. Simultaneous reviews released for you. We'll talk about that. Technical discussion again. And then topic 4, it's just a quick note about Pew Science support. It's strong. It's by the people, and it's for the people. That's right. Members, manufacturers, the dealers, they all help. The industry standard is alive and working. That's right. The industry standard for silencer sound is the silencer sound standard on pewscience.com. And it is the standard thanks to all of you listening. So thank you for that. Okay, I'm going to get a drink of water really quick. Pardon me. Okay. All right, we're going to move into topic 1 at a time of 11 minutes and 4 seconds. Okay, topic 1. Yeah, ATF eForm 1 tomfoolery. I'm going to hit this really quick. We don't need to belabor this like I did last time. If you if you don't know what's going on with the eForm 1 thing, you can go ahead and go back to episode, what is it? Oh, what episode are we on this time? We're on 104, right? Yeah, so if you go back to 103, in topic 1 of episode 103, I talk about the mass disapprovals that are going on and yada, 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 yada. Please, it was a long topic. I'm not going to revisit everything from that today, but it would behoove you, if you're not familiar with what's going on, to go listen to that episode. I'm telling you, the last time we spoke about it, all those folks getting their Form 1 applications to manufacture silencers denied, or as the ATF likes to say, disapproved. What a word. And for those of you who listened, remember how we speculated that there was going to be guidance coming out from the ATF? Like, I said that. I was like, you know what? I bet they're hitting the reset button. They're buying time, and they just want some guidance to be released. They're going to do something. Like it sounded like they were going to hit the reset button. And that's what they did. It sounded like they were talking to a few folks very specifically with their disapproval language. It sounded like, to me, they wanted to wipe the slate clean in the queue and get someone to agree to something in the process, kind of creating a gatekeeping mechanism. And that's exactly what they did, guys. That's exactly what they did. You might have received communication from the ATF if you filed a Form 1 recently, and they are asking you now, after these disapprovals, they are asking you in writing. They want you to provide photos or pictures of the parts you're planning to use to make the silencer with. And the pictures, they're saying, have to be clear and allow the identification of the parts. Like, meaning that you can't just take a potato photo that doesn't show what it is. And then they want you to provide a description of the process you're going to use to assemble or fabricate it. That they want to say, well, how are you going to do it? Then they want you to tell them in writing the product or model or kit name, if any. If you use some pre-made thing, wherever that may be, they want you to give all the details of that to them that you're going to use. And if you had something like that and you're going to use something like that, they want you to tell them where you got it, like what the name of the store is, what the website is, everything. Like, they want you to give them all that information. They want you to give all that intel to them. Bro, you need to just slow down right now. Okay? And I know what they're asking you to do, and I think you need to slow down. They are asking you to tell them exactly how you are going to do this manufacturing. It's interesting when you think about it. What if you're only using a bar stock and a lathe? What are you gonna buy the bar stock and the lathe before you start? Or how about you just get a photo of the lathe and the bar stock from the internet and give them that? Come on, man. This is a description of the process now? What? Okay, first I plan to figure out how to use the lathe. That could be your first step. The second step could be, I'll give you a call after I figure out how to use the lathe. This might take a minute, and I didn't want to start to make parts without the form signed by you guys because I didn't want to accidentally make a silencer. You feel me? Like, what? Yeah, like, what if you said that? This is hilarious to me. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. This is a war going on. Gas is like, I don't know if adjusted for inflation, gas is as high as it has been in the past, but it's high. I was driving home from the gym earlier, and I was like, I saw the gas, and I was like $3.79 for the regular octane fuel. That doesn't seem right. It's like $3.79. Seems that those of you listen, you're like, it's only $3.79 where you live. I'm like, well, yeah, some animals are more equal than others apparently. But yeah, man, what a time to be alive. This Form 1 stuff. They want you to give all the details of the solvent trap kit you get, right? If you're going to use one. They don't say that, but that's what they're saying. So, I mean, then they want you to tell them where you bought the solvent trap kit so they can go shut that place down. That's what they're saying that. I don't know. Here's the thing, guys. I don't want to belabor this topic. We have a lot to get to that's more important. If you file a Form 1 to make a silencer, go ahead and tell them you don't have any of the stuff they're asking for at all. Just tell them you don't have any of that stuff. The end. All right. I'm not a lawyer, and that's not legal advice. That's just hypothetically, if I was making a Form 1 silencer and I was filing my Form 1 to ask legal permission to do it, and I read what they're asking for, I would tell them very professionally that I don't have any of that stuff because I have not received my approved application to make a silencer yet. So I don't believe that it's in my best interest to purchase anything. That's what I would say. Hypothetically, okay? Okay, I'm not going to get into more than that. You guys need to really, really think about it. Okay? Don't be sending pictures of stock images of lathes to the ATF, guys. Like, don't do that. Don't start lying. You don't want to start lying to the government. It's not gonna be okay. There's no reason to do it. What, you're gonna lie in writing? You sure that's a good idea? Guys, just tell them you don't have any of that stuff because you don't. Okay? It's easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, topic 2 at a time of, seriously, guys, 18 minutes and 17 seconds. Now, seriously, like, don't, come on, man. I'm not your lawyer, but call your lawyer. All right? Come on. There's a reason lawyers exist. We don't have to like them, but sometimes. All right, topic 2, Sound Signature Review 667, the Diligent Defense Co. Enticer LTI on Supersonic 308. That's right, technical discussion. Oh my goodness, this is positive. And frankly, I wanted to get that first topic out of the way because I'm going to make the rest of this podcast positive. This is like, we're not going to let this infringement on our inherent human rights to self-defense bog us down. What we're going to do right now in this topic is we're going to celebrate the phenomenon that is Pew Science with another relatively new manufacturer. And guys, this part of the Pew Science effort is really exciting to me because it helps a lot of folks at once. We are and this is my favorite thing to do. This is what I live for. I love helping people. Helping people is it's just one of my joys. I love it. Like when someone's trying to figure something out, I'm like, dude, and if I know how to do the thing they're trying to do, sometimes I get in trouble because I'm a little too pushy because I'm like, I just want to help so bad. I just get so excited about it. And some people are like, dude, I don't want your help. I didn't want your help. Stop trying to help me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And it's something I'm working on. I'm trying to be better at it. Okay. But I figured if I made this whole effort to help everyone at once, maybe it's good. And I think it gives me joy, so that's what I get out of it. So we're helping a lot of people on a large scale, and manufacturers, relatively unknown, that work really hard on their products can have the performance of those products independently validated by a third party, and that's me. That's Pew Science. And after that independent validation, they can ask me to publish the data on the website. And I'm happy to do it. And why would I be happy to do that? This is all public. Why would I be happy to do it? Well, first of all, I know the data's right. I know the data's correct, and I know it was acquired in accordance with the methodology set forth in the standard, because I did it. And then I performed the analysis, and I know it's meaningful, and I'm thrilled that there's now a platform for folks to do this, guys. And it's folks like Diligent Defense. I'm thrilled folks like them can showcase the true performance of their products to the public. I'm making no bones about it. I'm serious. I get joy from this because it is exactly what I wanted to do, and it's working. This is literally my mission, and I am succeeding in it. And it's awesome. And apparently people like that I'm doing it. So that's even more awesome because I know I'm on the right track. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, I had to get some water. My voice might go. I literally just power lifted, and I didn't even have my post-workout shake or meal or anything because it's late and I wanted to get going. I might have dinner later, so I was like, well, I'm just going to do the podcast. Might have been a bad idea. Still have pre-workout in my system. Okay, I'm like super hyped. So yeah, what I was saying is, so this benefits them. It benefits Diligent Defense. It benefits Pew Science because they contracted with Pew Science for the testing, and that's paid work. Right? So that supports the effort, and it keeps this going, and it helps pay for my time, my supplies, business expenses. Like, that's contracted work. Like, that's a business. I'm running a business, okay? A lot of people, not a lot of people, some certain people in the silencer industry don't like that Pew Science charges money for professional services. You see, because what they would rather happen is they would rather have a YouTube person get paid by somebody and not say anything about it and then talk about it on YouTube. And that's okay. But as soon as Pew Science runs an engineering consultancy and forms and signs formal contracts for professional services rendered, all of a sudden that's crazy. Right? Yeah. You see you see what with like the blatant insanity that goes on. Like, oh no, you're not supposed to run a business. No. We don't like capitalism. No. We don't want you to be paid for your time. Oh, what's that? You have you're going on 2 decades of professional engineering practice, and you have multiple engineering degrees. Oh no. You shouldn't charge by the hour. No. I want you to work for free and not get any money for anything. Okay, cool. Glad we could have that great productive chat, guys. Really? My God. There's a disclaimer in the dang review. Any test data that received external funding for the project, there's a literal written disclaimer in the review giving you the actual contract number. Guys, it's just published work. So, I mean, everything's there. It's like I don't know how many more times I can say it. And it's weird because everyone understands it. Like, all the consumers get it. Everyone that listens to the podcast gets it. My clients get it. Like, businesses get it. But then you have these like random people, and now it's not random anymore. It's just these some people in the silencer industry that either don't know better or like have agendas, and they start telling people that, Pew Science is pay to play. They use those words, and I have the communication from them where they said they're selling it to other people. So yeah, you know what that is. It's slander is what it is. Yeah, there's actually a legal definition for that. So, and they know that, and they apologize and they act like they don't say it. And it's okay, well, you said it, and we have records of it. So keep doing it, keep saying it, and I'll keep testing, and you can keep digging that hole, man. Keep digging that hole, guys. Everything I do is public. All my podcasts are public. They're here on the internet. All my reviews are public too. Everything I've said is public, and it's all there. And the internet never forgets. So keep saying it, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and it'll keep being awesome and correct. And then when we have all the chickens come home to roost here, we can see what the eggs taste like. Yeah. It's I'm telling you guys, manufacturers like Diligent Defense, they are breaking the mold. And the only way they can do that now, in a sea of like, there are, how many silencer manufacturers pop up every day, and they're trying to sell silencers to people, and there's no validation of the performance at all. Now, there is a mechanism by which a new manufacturer can, and it is not expensive. They can come to me and get testing, and look what these guys just did. It's amazing. And we haven't even started talking about this performance, and I'm just so excited that it's possible. And we're helping them. And that is awesome. It is awesome. The chances of you hearing about this silencer and having really good objective data showcasing the performance of the silencer are pretty low without Pew Science, guys. And how do I know that? How am I just like supposing and just am I talking crazy? Well, before there was Pew Science, we didn't have this happen. Okay, so here we are, because you would just hear that every single new silencer that was released was the best silencer ever and the quietest, and that would happen every time any silencer product was launched by any company. Yeah, we just came up with the silencers, the quietest, the best. It's like, really? How can every silencer be the quietest? No, seriously, like I want you guys to think about this for a second. When you contact a silencer manufacturer and they say ours is the best, and you say, well, what do you mean the best? Well, it's the quietest. Is it? So every silencer manufacturer, all of their silencers are the quietest? Which manufacturer is that? Because so far in my data, I haven't seen a manufacturer that has the quietest in every category. How come that's not true? Well, the data's not showing that. How can a manufacturer have the quietest, every silencer they sell is the quietest? Are you sure? Yeah, see, that's not true. What do you call it when someone says something that's not true and they know it's not true? What do you call that? That's called a lie. I don't right? Is it? Would you define that as being untruthful and lying? Cool. So would I. So would the dictionary. So would any reasonable person. Okay? So I don't think we have to go on, but let's call a spade. And I'm telling you, it's not possible for a silencer company to have the quietest of everything. It's just not going to happen. It's never happened before, and it's not going to happen now, and it's not going to happen in the future, because it doesn't happen. That's like a car company. We have the best cars. Oh, you do? Well, how do you define that? Well, our cars are all the best. Well, in what category? Well, every category. Okay. Well, that I don't believe you. But I guess if you're saying it, you might be it's gobbledygook intellectual spaghetti, guys. Come on, man. Yeah, so that's done. That's all done. Those days are over. And you cannot get honest conclusions about silencers without independent third-party validation. It's not going to happen. I don't care. You cannot have a company that's selling silencers to you. Or, I'm serious, you can't have a distributor or a dealer or a silencer company give you information about the silencers and have the information not be compromised. It's not going to happen. And the reason why we are all, and it's not just me saying it, it's the industry. And the reason why we know that can't happen is because for the past few decades, it has not been able to occur without tomfoolery. And we know that. We know that that is literally the case. Like it is written, it's record, it's recorded, it's fact. You can't deny it, you can't twist it. What I'm saying, like if you ask anybody in the silencer industry, if they give you an answer that's contrary to that, dude, just walk away, because they're not being straight up with you, and they might not even know, they might not have been around long enough to understand it, frankly, and it's crazy. And there are a lot of silencer companies, and they definitely agree with that because they've seen it. Okay, so I don't think I need to say any more than that, but we have realigned expectations now. Okay, and I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind as I go through this discussion with the silencer, and I don't want to beat this dead horse and take away from Diligent Defense and what they're doing here. The reason I'm saying this so enthusiastically is because I want to make a very strong point on this podcast today and show you how incredibly important it is to have honesty with regard to product performance in an industry where there are mystery tubes where you can't see inside them. You guys, you're spending between $200 and $2,000 on a metal tube. You're not seeing it for a year, and then you get it, and you're like, I hope this is good. And I'll be darned if I am not going to make sure you have the most reliable information you can have about a product before you receive it. Because I am telling you, I will not stand by with the capability I have and my expertise. I am not going to stand idly by and let people get taken advantage of over and over again for another decade when I watched it happen for a decade before this. It's not going to happen anymore. And I'm not on my watch. I'm not letting it happen. I am going to keep doing this, and you're going to have to kill me to stop it. So buckle up, baby, because I'm ready. Come get me. You can't stop it. And it's designed like that. Pew Science is designed to be unstoppable because I'm not doing anything illegal, and it's all isolated and independent. So you can't take it down. How do you like them apples? I'm not going to stop until the silencers are tested and consumers see the data. It's just getting bigger. It's not stopping. We will not stop. It's not stopping. All right. So, and I hope the folks that there's a lot of people I hope are listening right now. I want you to hear me say it. Hear it from my mouth. I'm not stopping. All right, cool. Now, Enticer series from Diligent Defense, who, by the way, here's another thing. They cut their teeth in the Form 1 community. That's right. They cut their teeth in the Form 1 community. So, folks that know how to build silencers, they're up in Pennsylvania. Nice folks, down to earth, smart guys, approached me late last year to evaluate their silencers. I said yes, certainly. There were some delays here and there. We got weather. There's other, yada yada. But got it done, and I'm happy we were able to publish these results here in Q1 of 2022. I am happy about it. We got it done. I think this is a really good and strong kickoff to 2022. Really setting the stage here with extremely strong performance by Diligent Defense, guys. And it's a new manufacturer and just really good performing product, and it kind of came out of nowhere. So this is the Enticer L, and I'm gonna pull up the member review, Sound Signature Review 667, Diligent Defense Co. Enticer LTI, and the Savage Model 10 Precision Carbine 308. Okay, so this was published on March 3rd. That's last week. So this is the Enticer L. There's multiple links of the Enticer series, okay? And there's actually multiple materials too, which is kind of cool. So the ones I tested are the LTI and the STI. Okay, so both titanium. And in this topic, we'll speak about the L, and then I have got another follow-on topic. We'll hit the S quickly, but not too quickly because there's actually some really cool stuff you need to know about the S. So the S is the same, except for it's shorter, and I think it has 3 less baffles than the L, I think. Okay, so we'll speak about that on the next topic. Now, the Enticer LTI, and I have them both in front of me right now. Actually, I'm holding the L. I have the mount taken out, so it's just by itself here. It's light, dude. And you know what? These are 1.625 inches in outer diameter. You know, that's right. And it's about 8.5 inches long. Where's my tape measure? Because I don't have the mounted. Oh yeah, one second. I have so much stuff on my desk. I don't want to knock over this Topo Chico. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna measure without the mount. Okay, so it's less. It's like 8.25 to the flash hider features on the end cap, which, by the way, the end cap's removable. 8.25, a little bit more than 8.25 inch without the mount in it. Okay, so that's really, it's about, this silencer is 8 inches long. It's 1.625 inches in diameter. The little direct thread adapter, it's just really, really, really little, just light. It's 1 ounce direct thread adapter that comes with it. You use a 1-inch wrench on the outside of it. Looks like you can use a socket on the inside if you want to wrench that down to the barrel or something. If you don't have a different wrench, and then you can probably strap wrench the silencer to the mount, or the silencer has wrench features. You could probably use it like a non-marring tool. I know there's all kinds of ways to tighten this thing. It's pretty utilitarian, pretty simple. Yeah, it's light. 9.7 ounces without the mount, guys, in the full-size silencer. Like, what? And so, yeah, it has a modular rear end. It can take your favorite third-party mount things like, the Plan B, Chemo, YHM thing, Reardon, yada, 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 all that stuff. End cap comes off. Like I said, you can put the dead air flash hider end cap on there if you want. The dead air end caps. They had made the same thread pitch. So that's interesting. I didn't even know that. I was writing the review. I was like, hey, man, like, you want me to say anything else? And I was like, hey, by the way, let me ask you about if you can remove the end caps. And Diligent Defense, he texted me. He's like, dude, you can use the dead air end caps. I was like, say word? That's cool. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty wild. I was thinking, because I haven't shot it at night, I was thinking, I wonder if it flashes. Because I was like, if it does, I wonder how much, because dead air has that flash hider end cap. And I know there's already flash hider features on this end cap from Diligent Defense, but I was thinking, well, if the dead air flash hider end cap works better, that'd be cool. It might help. But if you have titanium sparking, that's a whole other thing. But on a long bolt gun, it might not be a big deal. I don't know. I'm not sure. You probably have to contact the manufacturer to ask about that, but I'm not sure. It is interesting to think about. Just the possibilities if you were to change the end cap to other stuff, since it has that thread pitch that's common to the dead air silencers. Like, never in a million years. Gosh, we just have so much like interchangeability and modularity nowadays. So that was cool. I just thought that was interesting. I did put that in the review, so hopefully you guys read that. But if not, now you know. Yeah. So let's look at the review here. I pulled it up on puissance.com. You can follow along at home if you like. That is why I do the podcast here. I find that it's good to do a podcast the week after the review. Let it percolate. Let folks get familiar with it, and then we can talk technical. That's what we're going to do. So bottom line up front, 51.9 suppression rating. Composite there on the Supersonic 308 20-inch bolt action. What in tarnation? Yeah, that's high. That's a composite rating now. Keep in mind, it's the one number. That is the simplest number. If you look at nothing else, that's the number for you. It's just bottom line up front, 51.9 on this host. It's a quiet silencer now. When you look more specifically here, 35.4 at the muzzle, 51.8 at the ear. All right, so yeah, that's where your rating's being driven high. It's the ear rating. That's really what's doing that for you here. It's doing really, really well at the shooter's ear on this gun. Okay, this silencer on this gun happens to give a sound signature at the shooter's ear that is really low risk for your hearing relatively to the other silencers in this class. It's doing so well, in fact, that it's neck and neck with the Hyperion on the host at shooter's ear numbers. At the shooter's ear, the Enticer L, the Nomad L, the Hyperion, they're causing basically the same damage to your unprotected ear, more or less, on average. Okay, on average. If you're the shooter. If you are the shooter on this with this bolt gun. You feel me? Now, I'm going to have to do a Pew Science member research supplement to take a deep dive into comparing the signatures for you. But yeah, the hearing damage risk is certainly close to the ear. It is, at the muzzle, there's some divergence. Okay, the Enticer L still does a good job, but it's not quite as quiet at the muzzle on this gun as the Hyperion is and the Nomad L is. Okay, it's just not. Those silencers are actually neck and neck. But they're about half a category quieter than the Enticer L at the muzzle. It's not a huge disparity, but it's there. Okay, the shaping of the sound field, the way this silencer traps and releases gas, it just happens to result in a larger disparity between the shooter's ear and the muzzle than the Hyperion and the Nomad L. I actually did mention this in the article, but this does happen every so often. It's not without precedent. A similar thing happens with the Helios QD, the Rugged Surge, the Trash Panda, the Sandman TI, the Thunder Beast Ultra 9. All of these silencers have a larger disparity between their ear and muzzle ratings than the Nomad L and the Hyperion on this host weapon. It just, that's how it works out. It's interesting, and that's really actually an interesting statement, because when you really say all that, it's sort of that the Hyperion and the Nomad L are the outliers, aren't they? Not really the Enticer L, because the Enticer L, it's like those other ones I just mentioned. It's just a weird phenomenon, and as we continue to test and analyze, I think we're going to see this more. I think we are. The NATO. I don't know if you guys know. There's a NATO sound testing standard, right? There is. There's a NATO standard. I have it, and we talk about it. My clients and I talk about it. The government and I talk about it. And Pew Science is also a government test lab. Government testing, military testing, law enforcement testing, silencer manufacturer testing, and also consumer testing. Okay, Pew Science. So just so you know that. I don't know, some of you might not know that. So yeah, I talk about the NATO standard with my clients, and it has a gigantic sensor array in it, and we can do that with PewSoft. It's the practicality is the reason we don't. We can. I mean, PewSoft can use unlimited sensors. I can use. I mean, this isn't some off-the-shelf data acquisition system that people buy and they're like saying it's the best thing ever. It's like, no, that's fine. You can use those things, but no, man. I built PewSoft and programmed PewSoft to do what we needed it to do. It is a tool to solve problems, and we are solving the problems with Silencer Sound Standard. And PewSoft can use as many microphones as you want to buy, dude. Use them. I can use a 32 microphone array. What, you want to use 32 mic? You want to use 64 mics? Let's do it. We can use 64 microphones, and the NATO standard doesn't call for 64, but it does call for a lot. If we wanted to, we could map the entire sound field. You feel me? The entire sound field. But then all I would do all day would be all I would be doing is processing waveforms all day, and then there would be no time for a podcast. There's no. I guess I could hire some other people, and then I could have data monkeys. And do all the data monkeys could just be processed, but that's not going to be productive. That's not what we're going to do. That's not. And what? It's really funny. And this goes back to some, to the discussion we were having at the beginning of the podcast here. If I did that, everyone would complain that they couldn't do it, and I could. And they already complain now. What? So imagine the complaining if I started using 4 or 8 or 16 microphones. All of a sudden, I'd be the worst person in the world. Oh, he's just an elitist, and we can't do it, so it's wrong, and we just don't trust him. And that guy, he's bought and paid for, and he's pay to play, and it's skewed. The data's skewed, and there's something funny going on, and we just now he's using 16 microphones. What? He's better than us? I don't like that. Okay, that's real. That doesn't hold water, dude. So yeah, man, look at these test results. Back to the review. The data is so clean. Oh, it's so good too. It's really good. You want to? Hey, you know what we should do? We should look at the fingerprint. Let's look at the data fingerprint. And we have a soup, and this time is actually a special case in the fingerprint because, and this is really cool. This is actually how you can tell that the data means something. And, this is so exciting because look, we have super close early in time in figure 1. Go to figure 1 in the review. And this is good because remember the Nomad and how you got that interior ringing with the silencer, with just the way the Nomad's blast chamber is, and because the silencer's so quiet, you got this early time ringing. And when I say ringing, don't think it's like a ringing like a bell. It's I'm using the term ringing as a catch-all term for the type of waveform. It's a little bit of a high frequency event, and it's caused by the early time combustion inside the silencer and the transmittance of the sound through the silencer's metal prior to the bullet exit. And this isn't precursor flow. You know what I mean? So remember, guys, what do we have? We have the bullet pushing the gas column in the barrel before it even gets out. The bullet is compressing the air in the barrel as it pushes the air out of the barrel as the bullet travels. And it's creating that gas slug. Remember we talked about that a couple episodes ago where it's compressing, it's moving so fast that column of air gets compressed into almost like a solid form in this gas plug that leaves the muzzle. It's like really, really fast and really crazy. And the flow is compressible because you're going really fast. Okay? And we don't have to talk about rocket science today. I'm just trying to tell you this broad strokes overview. So when that happens, this silencer traps it. Okay, so what you're seeing in that internal combustion, it hasn't come out of the end cap yet, because this silencer is going to trap that precursor flow. So you know what comes out first? The bullet does. Now, when the bullet comes out, you get a shock coming off the bullet, just because you're causing a disturbance in the air because the molecules can't talk to each other that fast. So you get a discontinuity. That's what a shock is, right? Well, you actually get gas when that happens. That bullet, and the reason I would label it bullet exit event and not just bullet shock is because it's more than bullet shock. And people have critiqued me before and they said, "Well, don't you know that's the bullet?" Yeah, I know it's the bullet shock, but there's also other stuff happening. So I don't want to pigeonhole myself and say, "Oh, well, I definitely know that's just the bullet shock." No. It's always a different shape because there's also stuff coming up. There's other flow with it. So what do I call it? The bullet exit event. That's what it really is. Okay, because there's a shock with it. Now, you get little bit more gas coming out right after that shock, and then everything gets really quiet. I'm still in figure 1. Everything gets really quiet, doesn't it? And I zoomed in really far this time to show you that. Okay? And the reason I had to make that only like 2.2 milliseconds long is because I wanted to show you those features. But unfortunately, by doing that, by zooming in to only 2.2 milliseconds, from 29 milliseconds to 31.2, unfortunately, by doing that, what we did was we cut off like the suppression and the subsequent FRP. So, but have no fear, fam. I got you. Scroll down. If you scroll down, because it doesn't quite fit in figure 1. I just couldn't fit it. If the website was different, I was actually thinking of making the figure different. I didn't want to go off the rails and confuse you, so it's fine. I just did it in figure 3. So if you scroll down to figure 3, all the way down Figure 3, there's Figure 3A, Figure 3B. Boy, does that gas take a long time to get out of the silencer, dude. It really does. It takes a long time to blow down. Figure 3A, look at it. Look at Figure 3A. And I'm going to toot my own horn again. Is it because I'm a little, it's probably the pre-workout, but it's okay. How many people who make rifle silencers are showing you the time duration I'm showing you? How many? Nobody is. Nobody's showing you the time duration. And it's March of 2022. Okay, cool. So they've had years to show you. Years. And I'm not calling them out. I'm just they're saying things about what they're doing, and I'm saying, okay, cool. It's March of 2022. And so I've been showing you complete blowdown for years. Complete blowdown. Okay, so the folks that say, well, we don't trust it because we can't do it. It's like, that's like saying, well, I don't trust that the earth is round because I'm not capable of doing the calculations to show it's round. It's like, okay, well, it's already been, data acquisition practice has already been accepted, and the inner ear models are peer reviewed. So like, I don't need to prove to you that the waveforms are showing a phenomenon that you don't understand. That's not how this works, dude. Like, this is data acquisition. This is like, for the people who do this in laboratory environments, not one of those people has come to me and said, well, I don't believe that you're... No, dude. As soon as I started releasing data on pewscience.com, I got direct feedback from laboratories, and they were like, well, matches our data. And hey, Thunderbeast told me it matches their data. I mean, and they didn't just tell me. They told the entire world when they said that publicly. So... what else do you want me to say? Okay, if the peak matches, wouldn't the rest of it match too? Especially when you can see that it's blowing down to zero pressure, meaning that it's not tested indoors. Okay, there you go. Boom. So real data. That's what real data looks like in Figure 3A. It shows, you can see it. You get the shock. Nothing happens for a while because the silencer has high back pressure, because it's trapping gas, and then you get the gas start to come out. Then what happens? Well, it decays to nothing. Well, why is that happening? Well, that's how the silencer works. It's like, well, how do we know the data's right? I don't trust this. We can't do this. I'm like, well, pay attention. You can do it too. Anyone can do this. Literally, anyone can do this. You just gotta put forth the effort. So, the fingerprint of shot 1 and of shot 2 are in Figure 3B. They're right on top of each other, okay? And until that bullet comes out and the jetting really starts, they're on top of each other. And that FRP is there, isn't it? And that's that's when you start to see the divergence, the first round pop, okay? Remember, okay, so in Figure 3B, the black curve is shot 1, the blue curve is shot 2. So what's shot 1? FRP. And one time I heard someone describe it. It's like, well, that's FRP. You're labeling that as FRP. No. FRP is the entire thing. The black curve, that's all FRP. They're like, well, no, you put FRP as that peak, and we think FRP is the other peak. No. That's like crazy. No, FRP isn't one peak. I labeled peak FRP as 143.3 dB. That's the peak FRP, but FRP is the entire way. First round pop, the first round pop is the entire gunshot of the first shot. Like, you understand? First round pop is the first round in its entirety. Any gunshot, its signature is the entire waveform. It's not one peak. It just doesn't make sense to say one peak. It has no meaning. If you tell me, if someone says me, how loud is that silencer? You say, well, it has a first round pop of 143.3 dB. That is meaningless. That's a meaningless statement. because you just gave a sound pressure level, but you didn't give any type of duration. You didn't give any type of impulse. You didn't give any type of anything. You cannot define a fast transient with a single point. A lot of people use, it's even a meme now where people are like, well, single peak dB testing is stupid. Okay, that's fine to say that. What I want to tell, I'm going to tell you something. You need to listen very carefully right now. You cannot quantify a fast transient with only one peak amplitude. And this is a universal truth, and it's not only in the silencer industry, guys. This is like it's in the entire discipline of transient analysis. We do not quantify a complex waveform with only a single peak transient. We always associate a duration with it, because you cannot quantify the impact of a transient on the response of a system with only one peak. It doesn't work. It's never worked. And it's just wrong. And I'm sorry. You guys, your pressure dependent response is a very special case. And you can only work in one-dimensional waveform parametric response in very specific cases, and your ear is not one of those cases. One way to speak about responding systems that respond parametrically to one parameter with high sensitivity and low sensitivity to another parameter, one could possibly use the term pressure sensitive to describe your ear. However, due to the complex nature of dynamic pressure vessel blowdown or silencer blowdown, it is highly spurious to assume that the inner ear is pressure sensitive in that flow regime and that time regime. Okay? And I know I'm getting a little technical in the words I'm using right now, but I am telling you right now, guys, I don't care how you skin this cat. You will always come back to needing the entire waveform, and you're going to have to. And I'm telling you, this is not new. It's not, and I don't want you to think, oh, Jay's making, and I heard another manufacturer say, well, Jay's making up his own science. No, I'm not. This isn't me, dude. There's people way smarter than me that figured this out a long time ago. Like, don't even, like, this is, I'm just showing you how you do it. Okay. So when you look at figure 3B, the blue curve, you see how it's oscillating like at a lot lower amplitude? Well, you don't have any extra oxygen anymore. You consumed all that oxygen. Your extra combustion is largely not happening. And so this is one of the reasons why you can tell this silencer has a fairly significant FRP, at least in pressure space, right away, just by looking at figure 3B. Okay? And you'll notice that the peak FRP and the shot 2 peak occur way after bullet exit, dude. This thing is delaying gas for like quite a long time. Okay? It really is. And you can't hide the FRP in pressure space because you can see the gas jetting in shot 1 compared with shot 2. And if you're still having a hard time looking at that, that's okay. I understand that some people, when you look at it, like even you click and make it bigger, it might be kind of weird. You're like, I can't really tell what's going on, Jay. It's fine. Go to figure 4. Figure 4, now you see it. Yeah, you see it. You see the black curve, figure 4? That's FRP, and it's rather pronounced. It really is. It's rather pronounced. Now, you can kind of see a difference in this silencer and some of the other quiet 308 silencers, can't you? And it, on your own time, it might be good to see, because I have it in memory. Go to the Thunder Beast Ultra 9 review. It's review 624. It's different. You're going to look at the muzzle impulse functions, the muzzle impulse curves. It's different. The Ultra 9 has less FRP than the Enticer L does. It does. It's actually a different sport with regard to that. It's a different sport. Thunder Beast, they have that licked. They're really good at it. And The Ultra 9 has less FRP than the Enticer L. Different sport. Now, also, check out the CGS Hyperion in review 627. Different. That's going to mask FRP like the Ultra 9 does. Different sport, guys. Not the muzzle. Different sport. Now, you look at stuff like the Nomad L, the PR30L. They kind of have FRP like the Enticer L does, don't they? Those silencers have noticeable FRP in the tested configuration, at least. And silencers up here in this performance class, like we're talking about these Nomad L, Hyperion. So the ones that don't have a lot of noticeable FRP, that's just the Hyperion and Ultra 9. It's a different sport, guys. Like, all these silencers are very different, and I'm telling you, they're not the same. These are not the same silencers. They are not all super similar. I've seen dealers say, why not? I'm on a roll. I've seen dealers say that too. In writing I've seen on ARFCOM. They're like, well, all of them they're all really great. They're all just the same thing. No, dude. And I know the suppression rating can be similar, but there's more to sound than just the suppression rating. Okay, remember how simple it is to use one number? Never forget that, dude. It is important to present simple and easily digestible information. But we must not forget that we have the power to understand true differences in products. And the first round of a gunshot, it may matter to people in a significant way, guys, depending on the application. Okay? I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page before we move on. I want you guys to understand, you're looking at the suppression rating, and that's great. But there are other factors, and for some people, they might need to look at more than the suppression rate, but they might need to look at the analysis. They might need to look at the report text that I write to really understand what's going on. Okay, I can't give you everything. I could start to give a FRP rating, which is actually something I could do. I could actually add that to the table. I can make a normalized FRP rating on the platform, and that's actually, now that I think about it, thinking out loud, a lot of people have been asking, well, can you put weight? Can you put length? I'm like, dude, you can figure that out. But what if you had an FRP rating? Well, it could change with mount, but it might be good. I could give an FRP rating, and that could actually be really good. What would I do? I'd probably make it as like a percentage of. I don't know. I have to give some thought. But if you're listening to this and you have strong opinions either way, shoot me an email at techcomputerscience.com. We'll talk about it. But that could help. It could help the effort. Okay, now, really interesting thing about the silencer. Well, one of the interesting things, and you got to know, guys, by now, in order to get this type of supersonic 308 performance out of a silencer like this, you have to try. This is not luck, dude. This isn't luck. It's not like, oh, let me just make a silencer really quick out of like freeze plugs and put it on a supersonic 308 bolt gun and get a suppression rating in the 50s at the ear. No, dude. No. You don't get lucky with this. This is not luck. And because of that, one of the most interesting things about this silencer is how simple it is. And I can't tell, and this part sucks a little bit. Just from intellectually curiosity, it's going to suck for you because I cannot tell you about the internal design because it's not my story to tell. Okay, that's some proprietary stuff. But I can say what I said in the article, and that is, it has some elements that are coaxial here and there, and it has some progressive geometry. Okay. And I will say, when Diligent Defense sent me a cutaway of their silencer, the silencer I'm holding in my hand right now, this Enticer, I didn't X-ray it. I used my borescope a little bit to play around with it, but I didn't, I'm not going to cut their silencer open. I asked them respectfully. I said, hey, can you show me what's inside? Because I really want to know. And they did. They sent me a cutaway, a picture. And I immediately said, I was like, and I think I was on the phone with them. when he's texted to me. I was like, oh, wow, that's smart. I said, that is smart, dude. Bravo. I was impressed. I was like, what a smart design. Because you can tell that these guys worked hard on this, and they told me they did too. So I am cheating a little bit. I would speculate they did, but when they told me they did, I was like, I bet you did. I bet you did work hard. Because the brilliant simplicity of it, it's almost like a fingerprint in and of itself to me, dude. I'm actually a little concerned that folks are going to rip them off. That's how simple I think this is, and I hope not, because this is a good design, and I think it's only going to get better with tweaking. They got so much to go, and this is I feel like I'm holding the first thing, and this is serial number 1. I feel like I'm holding something that could be the start of something insane, just because of the simplicity of it all. And so, actually, yeah, and I'm gonna take a quick detour from the technical discussion, just to say, a lot of older silencer designs are unnoticed now. This is a Form 1 company turned Form 4. I mean, I know it's not exactly the same company, it's the same guys running it, and they just came out swinging, dude. This is real, and it's not that complicated, which should actually put the entire industry on notice. Guys, I love this stuff. I can't believe it, dude. I'm like, this is Pew Science personified. This is what we're trying to look for. We're finding this stuff. We're showcasing it. We're testing it. It's real. This data's real, dude. And members, this is where it gets really good. Members, you need to go check out the member section and look at the ear waveforms, because there you're gonna see stuff you're more familiar with regard to comparing the signatures to the Hyperion and the Nomad L. Okay, you see the difference between the Enticer L at the muzzle and the Enticer at the ear. Notice how you're in that realm again when you go to the ear waveforms. Okay, remember at the muzzle how not only was the amplitude higher, but the shape was different at the muzzle, wasn't it? The shape, the impulse shape too. Okay, it's just different sound field up there, but back here by the shooter's ear, by the shooter's head. On the gun, we're in super crazy Quiet Town, USA, population U. That's right. I'm in the member review. Let me scroll down to it. Oh, yeah, dude. You need to look at if you're a member, look at the impulse waveforms. You're like, what in the actual? Seriously. Guys, technically, when you look at the numbers, technically, the quietest shots at the ear on this gun of any silencer I've tested publicly are from the Enticer L. The quietest at the ear on 308. Not by much, but it's edging out the Hyperion at the ear. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. It's funny. The flow rate and the standoff help with the silencer, and the signatures at the ear are consistent, and the silencer really performs, guys. The performance speaks for itself when you look at the data. I think Pew Science members see that. I think you have to see the ear waveforms to be convinced of this. And one thing that folks need to keep in mind with this silencer, yes, it's batting with the heavy hitters, but there are things at the shooter's ear, like FRP, that are different. Okay, and members see that. Okay, now, excuse me. Now, of course, we haven't looked at this in a while. Of course, this is in our large 762 data set, so we can look at the published Omega metric, can't we? We haven't talked about this in a while. Omega 762. I haven't looked at it in a while. Well, the Enticer L, let's see. Scroll all the way down. Figure 7, right? Yeah, figure 7. I made it big. It's a big figure. It's getting too big. I only put silencers in Omega Zone 5 and above this time, right? Did I do 6 or 5 or something like that? Oh, I don't know. Whatever I did. There's not all of the silencers are on the chart, but a lot of them are. And I'm gonna scroll all the way down to figure 8 because it's graphically has all of them. Figure 8 has all of them. The Enticer L is falling somewhere between the PR30L and the Hyperion in Omega metric. Now, the important thing to note is that it's in Omega Zone 7. Okay, that is a group of silencers that's going to induce flow restriction on a weapon system that can cause some influence. It's going to influence the weapon system's operation. And, if the weapon system's really sensitive to gas, you're going to know it. For example, I would not put this silencer on a SCAR or like an AK or something. It's not, it'll work. It's going to be quiet, but I don't know that you want to, I don't think it's going to be good for your gun unless the gun is super tuned for it. I think you're going to have to tune the gun for it. I think the SCAR or the AK would probably be inappropriate for this silencer. Maybe not. Maybe you could get it to work, but the Omega metric is supposed to be a guide, and it's probably not the best. Now, please use the Omega metric as a guide for relative 7.62 performance, guys, when this is Omega 7.62. And here's some more guidance for you. When you go into an overbore scenario, that is like when you're putting like a 5.56 flow through a 7.62 hole, the Omega metric can provide rough guidance, but in some cases the relationships are not correct. And so in general, Omega 5.56 drops like a rock with 7.62 silencers. So don't think the chart is going to be as granular for 5.56 with these 7.62 silencers, okay? These are 7.62 silencers. So the resolution is best shown with the 7.62 metric. You feel me? When you move to 5.56, you're going to lose resolution with this parameter, and then you need to move to Omega 5.56 for granularity. Okay? It's different number. It's not the same number. Nowhere did I say that Omega 7.62 is like perfectly correlated with 5.56 performance. Like, if you saw that in the data, that's your supposition. That's not my words. So be careful. And if you have a question, techcomputerscience.com. Now, to wrap this up for this topic, I think this is a really interesting silencer. To me, it kind of fills the gap between some of the legacy stuff like the Thunder Chicken, the Salmon L, the Rugged Surge, and the newer stuff like the Hyperion, the Nomad L. And it hits pretty hard, dude. It's playing with these guys, especially the shooter's ear. It's hitting right up there. I think the silencer's high performance. I think it's probably economical. I don't have really accurate information on that, like the cost, because it's not my thing. It's not my rodeo. It's not what I do. I don't sell silencers, so I actually don't have any idea. I never know what a silencer costs unless I go to buy it for like a test sample or someone tells me. I just don't look at it. I don't look at the cost of I actually don't even look at the cost of guns or silencers. People tell me all the time, well, that gun, why would you buy that gun? That's really expensive. I'm like, because I wanted the gun. I'm not looking at prices. Like, the cost of ammo is so much more than the cost of the gun over the lifetime of the gun. I don't look at cost of guns unless it's like a transferable machine gun. That's when cost starts to matter to me. For like normal gun, like a pistol, like I'm buying a handgun, I'm like, I don't care how much it costs. Like, whatever, I'm just gonna buy it. Like, well, I care within reason, but I'm not like, like, oh, that's $700 gun versus a $650 gun. Oh my god, oh, the sky's falling. It's like, dude, $50. Like, what? You're gonna shoot that? You're gonna shoot $50 in like 10 minutes? Who cares? It's like, what? You guys are splitting hairs over $50. Anyway, this is all. Sorry, I got off track. What I'm saying is, folks tell me that this diligent defense stuff is like YHM style pricing, like where it's like it's performing well and it doesn't cost a lot. So that's interesting. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? It's like whoa. It's like that means we're going to that cost effective stuff like we talked about last episode. That's what you see. That's why this is on my mind, right? I was like thinking of market evolution and cost being one of the drivers to evolution in the market. After seeing how this thing is constructed, I can see that. And, there are some silencers out there that are made really, really simply and are very, very expensive. And it's interesting, because I don't sell silencers. So I guess the margin on items like this varies. But man, I feel like some of this stuff is pretty simple and some of it's not so simple. So I guess it's a scale, and another thing to think about too is everyone has their own R&D costs, and business is business. So I think, I'm not here to say like, oh, so-and-so's charging too much for the silencers and it shouldn't be that expensive. No, I'm not want to say that because, there's a lot more to cost than just what the silencer is, and I'm not going to sit here and, there's a lot of different costs that go into something. I'm just saying it's worth discussing these things because, of the previous discussion with regard to how cost influences market evolution. And I think this is one of those times where this might be a factor because, if you're in the market for a rifle silencer that's light and quiet, I think these probably are worth a look. I mean, they make a steel version of it too. You can check it out. Now, keep in mind, you can use different mounts with this thing. And I tested it with the direct thread mount that it comes with. So yeah, who knows what this thing does with other mount types? I don't know. I would assume you could change the performance. Okay. Might be neat to experiment with, taking up volume in the blast chamber might do something, possibly. You're going to be changing the expansion ratio of the initial jet, but hey, you'll have to experiment with it. Let me know, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and talk about the shorter version of the silencer and see where it fits in the next topic. Let's move into topic 3 at a time of 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 7 seconds. Okay, so I spoke for an hour on the first one. We are not going to spend that much time on this one. Topic 3, Sound Signature Review 6.68. The Diligent Defense Company Enticer STI. The shorter version of the L we just talked about on Supersonic 308. Same gun. Technical discussion. Okay. All right, let me go. Yeah, I'm still on the website here in the member review. In the L, I'm going to scroll up because I know I linked to the S. I'm going to click on it right here. Where is it? Yep, 68. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Same thing, guys. Exact same thing. You're removing a few baffles. Remove some baffles. Make the thing shorter. You get the S. Okay? And now you're under 8 ounces. 7.8 ounces without the mount. That's wild, dude. And I have this on my desk too. This one, I know I have the mount in it. I'm going to unscrew it right now. Unscrew the mount out of it. Boop, 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 boop. Come on. Okay, it's gone. Mount's out. This thing is so small and light. 7.8 ounces, kind of short. You're 7 inches long. Now we're talking compact performance. Guys, look at the rating. 42.5 composite rating. 27.6 at the muzzle. 42.5 at the ear. No, 42.3 at the ear. I'm sorry. The 42.5 is the composite. 42.3 at the ear. Guys, let's go to the sound rankings on here. Pull up the rankings on pewscience.com. That's section 7. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, it's all filterable and sortable. I'm going to click on the ammunition sorting tool. I'm going to hover over Supersonic 308. I'm going to say only. Kaboom. Okay. All right. I'm going to sort by composite suppression rating descending. So the little arrow goes down. You can see the Hyperion is at the top with a 52.3 composite rating. Okay, so I'm going to look down here. Diligent Defense, Enticer STI. It's in the table. Guys, you're right below the rugged surge in performance. At the ear. 42.3 at the ear. The rugged surge at the ear on this gun is 42.7. Guys. What? Yeah, that's crazy. You're beating the Nomad TI at the muzzle, aren't you? Nomad TI at the muzzle on this gun, 26.3. Enticer STI, 27.6. And you're beating the Nomad TI at the muzzle and the ear on this gun. I think it's a little longer than the Nomad TI. A little bit. Wait, hold on a second. How long? Hold on a second. Let me open the Nomad TI review. How long did I say it was? 6.5 inches. Okay, so you're half an inch longer than the Nomad TI. Okay, cool. But I think you're lighter than the Nomad TI. Because the Nomad TI is 9.7 ounces with the direct thread mount. And the Enticer S is 8.8 ounces with the direct thread mount. You're an ounce lighter than the Nomad TI. You're an ounce lighter, dude. Okay. That's interesting. So you're lighter and quieter than the Nomad TI on this host. That's actually pretty crazy. And you know what? You know what the crazier part is? I didn't really compare this silencer to the Nomad TI in the review because it's punching up as high as the larger silencers, like the full configuration of the Rugged Surge. That's wild. And if you told me, guys, when I bought my Rugged Surge that I could have bought something smaller and lighter and just as quiet with a modular back end, I would have told you, what? What can I buy? Where is it? Tell me. Where? No. What do you mean? Where can I buy that? Yeah, that's what I would have said. I'd be like, really? I was looking for a really quiet silencer, and you're telling me that there's what? Because when I bought my Surge, the internet told me it was the quietest and toughest rifle silencer you could buy. That's what the internet told me. I Googled it. I said, well, what's the quietest rifle silencer? Oh, Rugged Surge is quietest. You can't break it. It's the best. It's the best silencer. It's the quietest silencer. That's what everyone told me. I was like, oh. I mean, I just got back in the game. I didn't know what to buy. I was like, okay. I guess I'm going to buy the Surge. Silencer shot makes it easy. Yeah, this is going to be great. I didn't know what I was doing. I had been out of the game for a long time. I didn't know what the quietest stuff was. Oh, everyone told me it was a Surge. The internet told me it was the quietest one. Turns out, funny story, turns out it's impossible to find reliable information on silencer sound back then. Yeah. Go figure. Now, I like my Surge. I like my Rugged Surge. It's a cool silencer. It's extremely well made. You probably can't break it. Glad I have it. Their customer service is fantastic. Rugged's a great company. I love it. I love my Rugged Surge. But this Enticer S, dang, man. If I knew, come on, man. Seriously? Sure, the titanium's not going to be as durable at high temperatures. But yeah, man, you can get this in steel too. And so for me, for hunting, bro, if you had a Helios QD TI, you would outperform the Enticer STI at the ear, but not by a huge crazy amount. Okay, so think about this, guys. I think for shorter, lightweight 308 hunting silencers to get you in the 40 zone at the shooter's ear, you got three choices like that I've tested so far. You got the Helios QD TI, you got the Nomad TI, and you got the Enticer S. I'm looking at the table right now. I'm looking at the shooter's ear suppression rating. Let's forget composite rating. Let's sort by that descending. I'm sorting by ear suppression rating on pewscience.com in the rankings table, descending. And I'm going down and I'm seeing 50s, 40s. The first compact silencer, not full-size silencer I get to in the 40 zone is the Helios QD, and if you have the TI, it's the same. So you can just count on that. That's 44.3 at the ear. Fine. Then it's Rugged Surge. Then it's Enticer S, 42.3. And then Sandman TI, then Nomad TI, which ties the Sandman TI. Then you get Thunder Chicken, 41.2. Then you get Richmond Tactical 30 TI, which is a full-size silencer, 40.1. Then you're getting to the KGM, which is 39.3, so you're getting out of the 40 zone. And then down, you get Sandman L. So then, okay, what's the next smaller one? Omega, 38. So if I want to stay in the 40 zone comfortably, on a 20-inch bolt action, meaning that I probably want to keep in the 40 zone at the ear on a 16-inch bolt action, like if I want to use a Q fix like I do for hunting, then I kind of want to stay up in the 40s. Remember I did that subjective test a year ago with my Radiant and the Hyperion K, and I kind of want to be in the 40s, remember? Because the Hyperion K was in the 37.1. right? And then go down, what did I used to use? The Radiant, it's 32.5 at the ear on the 20-inch. Come on. So, yeah. I mean, again, you want to be comfortably if you want to be in the 40 zone at the shooter's ear on a bolt action 308, Helios QD TI, Nomad TI, and Enticer STI, these are all doing that. They're light. So these are the three small and light rifle silencers. All three have modular back ends. All three are titanium. I think the Helios QD TI is probably the most durable out of the three. I think the Enticer STI is probably the cheapest out of the three. By far, probably. I think this is insane. I think the fact that Diligent Defense made a silencer like this on its first entry into the Form 4 market is insane, dude. This goes back to what I was talking about in the previous topic. Like, what have we done by creating Pew Science? This is a proving ground, an independent validation proving ground, and look at the fruits. Look at the fruits from the tree. All right? I think the L version did really well. I think the S version is incredible. I think you put a little tapered direct thread mount on this thing. You put it on your Q-Fix. You go have one of the quietest Q-Fix rifles you can have. And look how small it is. You can hold this in your hand. I'm holding it in my hand. Incredible. Wait. How long is a Trash Panda? Let me scroll on the table. Well, first, let me get to the Trash Panda. So on shooter's ear suppression rating, 20-inch 308. I'm going to scroll down all the way down until I get, past the harvester, 33 at the ear is the Trash Panda. I'm going to click on the Trash Panda review. Boom. Scroll down to the first paragraph here. 30 caliber silencer, 6.9 inches in length. Okay, the Trash Panda is 7 inches long. Okay, so the Diligent Defense silencer is 7 inches long. Okay, so this Diligent Defense Enticer STI is the same length as the Trash Panda, but smaller diameter than the Trash Panda, and it is way quieter than a Trash Panda. Like, not a little bit quieter. It is, at the shooter's ear, 33 compared with 42.3. Okay, so that's like a suppression rating category quieter. That's a different sport. The Enticer STI is lighter, shorter, and significantly quieter than a Trash Panda. So what is this? Well, it's silencer evolution. It's exactly what we were talking about last episode and this episode. It's silencer evolution. This is like you used to have stuff crawling around the dirt, and now it's running and throwing spears. Guys, this is silencer evolution. Okay? Now, let's talk more about the performance. Now, I forgot. Let me go. I spent a lot of time in this ranking section. Let me go back to the review. Review 668. Now, the first round pop at the muzzle does exist with the S. Okay, it does, and it's perceptible. But at the shooter's ear, where it's really going to matter a lot on a bolt gun, the FRP is not as noticeable. They're doing a pretty good job with it on the silencer, and the data shows it. And oh my gosh, you know what? I just realized. Oh my gosh, we didn't look at the fingerprint. Okay, go to the review 668, and I'm jumping all over the place, guys. Sorry. Go to the review 668 and go to figure 1. Okay, so we're going to look at the fingerprint now. This time in the S review, I made the time scale be long enough to see the point I wanted to get across all in one figure. And why could I do that this time and I couldn't do it in the L? Well, it's because the S lets out gas faster than the L because it's shorter, it's a little louder, and it has less back pressure. Okay, so see how that works? I had more room. I could make the figure. I can still show you features. You see? So, and you can actually see it's really similar to the L in initial combustion. You see that ringing at early time. And then the exit event, you see that's very, very similar. But then the first jetting comes out and all bets are off. You're jetting faster. You're jetting harder. You're jetting more intensely. You're building, and it does delay the peak of the FRP, but it does not delay the peak of the peak FRP as much as the L version did. Does it? Why? Less flow restriction. I just told you, less baffles, right? Flow gets out faster. What does that mean? There's lower back pressure. Scroll all the way down to figure 8. And look where the Enticer S falls on the omega metric. The omega metric is right between the Surge and the Thunder Chicken. And it's a way smaller silencer. I just got done telling you this thing is the same size. It's the same length as the Trash Panda, and it's a smaller diameter, and it's lighter, and it's quieter. It's a gas trap. The bore's not tiny either, dude. I don't know the exact bore size. I think I forgot, but it's not tiny. This is not an Omega bore. This is not some kind of like Silencer Co. Omega. Let's make the bore tight so it's quieter bore. No. This is a normal size bore. This is trapping gas due to design, and it's efficient, and it's small, and it's light for the design envelope. And it's wrecking shop, dude. I think, you know what I think? I think folks are going to start to wonder what the heck's going on. Because I'm telling you, and let's go back to what a silencer I mentioned briefly. I don't want to gloss over that. And I talked about this. This is public knowledge. I talked about it on the podcast before. I bought a Rugged Radiant when it first came out. Like right away. I was a big fan of the Rugged silencers. I had bought the Surge. I had the mounts. I'm a hunter. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a Rugged silencer and it's light. Sign me up. I bought it right away. Got to pick my serial number and everything. This Enticer S is light and small, and it destroys the Rugged Radiant on a hunting rifle, dude. It is not even the same. Let's go to the rankings. Let me go. Section 7, I still have it open. Suppression rating at the ear. Let's scroll down. You have the Enticer S, 42.3 at the ear. Scroll all the way. Rugged Radiant, 32.5 at the ear. It's basically a Trash Panda at the ear. No, dude. That's not okay. Not okay anymore. This is evolution. So yeah, for a hunting rifle, come on. There's no, it's not even a competition anymore. For strictly, I'm just talking bolt gun use. Okay? Guys, this is a personal note. It grinds my gears in a way because it's 2022. I'm looking at my computer. It says March 8th of 2022. I'm not dreaming. I had to make Pew Science to figure this stuff out. And I had to do this. No one was going to figure it out for me. I had to do it, and I did it, and now we have it. And what if I didn't do it? What? I didn't make Pew Science? Guys, come on. It's getting ridiculous. It keeps happening. We're finding silencers that we could not even see or talk about, but now we have an ecosystem in which to discuss them and examine the metrics. So all in all, I think it's a good silencer. It's a light silencer. It's not that big, so I think Diligent Defense did a good job. It performs really well. And I have a Hyperion and a Nomad L and everything, and I'm looking at the S more than the L version of this thing just because I think it's so small and light. And it's like, it's something this is actually, and I'm telling you, I never tell anyone what to buy. I'm telling you, like, for me, this is actually something I'm like, I think I need to spend some more time with it. Maybe shoot at some stuff. I haven't shot the silencer at all except for the testing. Okay, so I don't have any personal time with it. And honestly, I kind of like black silencers. I don't like that it's all shiny. It's just not my thing. But good job to Diligent Defense, man. You guys did well, and this is your first major product launch. I can't wait to see what else is in store for these guys. The industry in general, I think I'm excited for the industry. If these guys can do this, imagine who's out there doing other stuff. I think this is amazing. I think it's crazy. I couldn't be happier for the effort now. We're a couple years into this. I couldn't be happier for the support from everyone, and look how far we've gotten, and look what we're able to show people. I couldn't be happier, and I couldn't be happier for a client like Diligent Defense to be successful and show something like this to the world and pick Pew Science to do it and trust me to do this. They trusted me with their first product to test it and show the world its performance. They trusted me. That means a lot. And you see why folks, folks might think, when the folks, they lie about Pew Science and they say stuff that's not true, and about how, and these sponsor companies are telling consumers this now, because consumers are sending me messages of what the sponsor companies are saying, and they say things like, well, Jay, his data is skewed and you can't trust it and all this stuff. And you see why that's really messed up, because I'm doing this for you guys, and I don't know another way to prove to you that it's right. It's all the raw waveforms on the website. This is reproducible by anyone who chooses to put forth the effort to do so, just like the Sponsor Sound Standard tells you. And I'm just so overjoyed that we have this information and you have the information. All right. So we have a success story now. Now, I will caveat that and say we have a performance success story. The rest of it, for Diligent Defense, the manufacturing, the logistics, the marketing, the sales, the customer service, all that stuff, that's not my rodeo. I'm just the guy who tells you how the stuff sounds and how damaging or not damaging it can be to your ear. That's my lane, and I'm staying in that lane. Okay? It's up to everyone else to figure the other stuff out, all the rest out. That's not my job. Okay? So Godspeed. Okay, let's move into topic 4 at a time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 29 seconds. Oh man, it's getting long. The Pew Science support is strong. It really is. And what a good segue that we just had into this topic. This is by the people, and it's for the people. And I say that on social media sometimes, on Instagram stories, and I think sometimes people think it's cheesy, but I really mean it, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And the members and the manufacturers and the dealers help keep going, and the industry standard for silencer sound, the silencer sound standard, is alive and working. And I just want to say, and I saw this, I haven't even talked to him about it yet, I saw Diligent Defense join Pew Science as a supporting manufacturer, after the review was published. Like I actually, similar to Otter Creek, I can tell you guys, since it's public, the deliverable for our project, our contract with Diligent Defense was website publication. Like, they didn't want a standalone report. So some manufacturers, they want certified test reports they can give to satisfy, government solicitations, buyers, things like that. They want, several people want Pew Science test reports. Diligent Defense, much like some of my other clients, they only want their deliverable. They only wanted website publication. So I PDF'd and Diligent Defense was not a member of Pew Science. So they couldn't see any of the member data, and they could not see their own member review. So I PDF'd it for them, and I sent it to them, both of them, the S and the L reviews there. And since then, they joined Pew Science. They told me they were going to join. They did, and that's awesome. Manufacturers do not have to join Pew Science to support the effort. They don't have to join. Even if they contract with Pew Science for testing, they do not have to join. Do not have to. Now, if a manufacturer wants access to all the member data and analysis, and if they want to support this thing and keep it going, they can certainly join with an advanced membership. That's why it's there, and it helps. I'm telling you, it does make a difference. Every little bit helps. So shout out to Diligent Defense for that, dude. Like, I'm actually pretty honored. I'm honored that they joined. When a company joins, it shows you that they believe in the effort. So that's cool. And I can tell you that any silencer manufacturer that has joined has their logo on the RFQ page. If you don't see the logo there, they're not a member of Pew Science, guys. And I just want to make sure that's known. I don't want any confusion. In the past, we had some folks in the past who wanted to join, and but they didn't want their logo on the page, and I'm not going to do that with silencer manufacturers anymore. If you're a silencer manufacturer and you want to support the effort, it has to be public. Okay, I can't be hiding stuff from the public like that. It gets squirrely and it's weird. Now, if you want to do contracts with Pew Science and have those be private, that's okay. That's different. That's a different story. But membership to the cooperative, the research cooperative, with you accessing all of the member data in the member area, no, that's going to be disclosed to the public, guys. Sorry, that's policy now. Okay, and you want that to be disclosed because you want consumers to know that you are a trustworthy company, and if you're putting backing behind independent testing, that consumers want to know that, and they like that. They tell me that. I get the feedback. I know it. Like, you don't have to do your market research with your so-called KPIs that aren't right. Like, don't look at that. Go to the source, dude. I talk to consumers. The consumers go directly to me, and they tell me when a silencer manufacturer joins Pew Science, they respect that. So if you want to join. If you don't want to join, don't. But if you do join, you're going to want your logo on there. It's going to do nothing but help you. I don't need your help. Okay? If you put your logo on there and if you don't want to put your logo on there because you think you're helping to build my brand and you don't want to help me and da-da-da, it's like, well, then you're not meeting the essence of Pew Science anyway, so I don't want your support. It's weird, right? Don't be weird. It doesn't make any sense. You're not understanding. This is for everybody, dude. This is for everybody. It only works if people understand that it's for everybody. Like, this is not self-serving. It's community serving. Look and listen to all the stuff I've talked about on this episode, and holistically, you need to understand we are creating industry advancement by giving third-party validation to products. Okay? On the RFQ page, you can see the dealers, distributors, and manufacturers. You can see all those folks that endorse Pew Science, and that's important, okay? Now, I'm behind on welcome emails severely, very behind, severely behind. So those will come, okay? So the members who have joined, I'll get to you. I promise I have not forgotten you. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you found the information about Diligent Defense products useful. I hope it was. I know it was long-winded, but I hope I adequately describe them. I know I couldn't give a lot of the details about the internals. Just know that it works. Okay? I wish them the best. And I'm glad to be able to showcase an up-and-coming manufacturer. Okay? I'm glad they chose to pursue independent third-party validation. All right? So thank you for listening, and I will talk with you folks again soon. Bye.